Okay, so coming back to the compensation concept, what we've seen. So it's not so huge, just to get you a kind of aware of the terms, specifically the terms, and how to create those, how to create those setups for those, the instances actually. So that will help you to see in future if you can correct anything or edit something or make any kind of compensation changes. All these kind of things, you should be getting. This is just a small topic, but very important, I can say, because every customer who is actually going with core HR will definitely have a compensation module added in their subscription. So you should be getting support requests, anything related to yearly components, adding compensation to employees, all these kind of things you should be able to manage. Okay, when you know the content, it's not hard to actually perform the activity. When you don't know anything to perform an activity, it is typical actually. But when you know the concept, you should be able to explore and perform something, if you're not even aware of that one. Now, coming back to the compensation, what we were discussing yesterday, just to recap what we've done. Okay, so compensation grade. Okay, what is a compensation grade? From the discussion that we had yesterday, what is a compensation grade? It defines the range of compensation.
Also, it is for specific country.
Yeah. What about comp grade profile?
It is for multiple countries with different grade.
Yeah. It also defines the range of the compensation for the same for the job profile. But you have the job profile attached with positions in multiple countries. Okay. Compensation plan specifies
combination of grade and profile.
No, specifies various compensation plans. Plans like salary plan,
bonus plan, merit plan, stock plan.
Hourly plan for hourly employees, bonus plan. When you wanted to take bonus plan covers variable pay also. Okay. Allowance plan, which gets food allowance, internet allowance, any kind of other allowances, you can add under allowance plan. Stock plan, merit plan, lot of plans. Okay, you can actually add multiple plans as per the organization requirement. Some organizations might have only salary plan and bonus as part of their compensation. Some organization might have even allowance to be part of the whatever the allowance that they're paying to employees. That also be part of salary component. Okay, so as a part of compensation package. Okay, any stocks also can be included in the compensation package. So depends upon the organization requirement. They can plan to have plans in the compensation package. Okay, so these are the typically used plans in compensation actually. And the next comes compensation package. Okay, so combination of grades and plans makes a package. Okay, and the eligibility rule which defines
specific criteria for specific group of
eligibility criteria. Okay. Eligibility criteria for the compensation component. Example, stocks. So when we are creating a stock plan, if the stock plan should be eligible for only specific group of employees, we can add a eligibility rule that assigns stock plan to specific group of employees. Okay. So that's nothing but eligibility rule. Okay. So these are all the typical terms that you need to know in a compensation model. Okay. Your core compensation will be comprising of all these things actually. Okay. There is nothing outside of these things. Okay. If you know the actual functional understanding of all these terms, you should be good with compensation model. Okay. Then once you are aware of these things, you need to know the process flow of or compensation structure flow. Okay. Typically we call it as comp structure. So when you're defining or when you're implementing core compensation model, first you need to define comp grades or profiles. Then you need to have comp plans. Then combine grades and plans to make a package. Okay. Then once you have a package, define or create eligibility rules. Okay. Eligibility rules. So these eligibility rules can come at any point. Okay. After you create a compensation grid, you can actually assign eligibility. You can add eligibility rule to this, or first you can create an eligibility rule, then start creating these things. So this eligibility rule can come in at any step actually. There is no specific flow for this one. You can start at the beginning, you can start at the ending, or it can start in the middle of each process flow. Okay. So once you create an eligibility rule, then finally assign the compensation components created above to employee. Okay. So this part we have done actually. Okay. So when we are hiring an employee, as part of the business process step, during proposed compensation business process steps, we did this one. Okay. As a compensation administrator, assigning compensation package, compensation plan, compensation grade to an employee, we did this one. But anyways, since we will be creating our own compensation grade, plan, package today, we're going to assign same to any of the employee in the system. Okay. Now going back to the tenant. Okay. So as per this flow, we can actually make this setup actually. So as I already said, eligibility rule we can create at any point. Okay. So first what I'll do is I'm creating an eligibility rule. So there's a task called create comp eligibility rule. Okay, we need to proxy as and log on since Jacqueline does not have an access. this is a small topic. We'll just have the configurations made and just give a kind of high level overview on the reporting part. Okay. So create comp eligibility rule, the task that you can access. So this, whatever you're seeing, right? The same kind of filters, the same kind of conditions, whatever we are doing, right? Eligibility rule is nothing but adding conditions. Okay, in business process we have done, right? Adding condition, the same we are doing here. And this, whatever you're seeing, right? The grid, the rule condition grid that you're seeing entirely here. Same kind of thing you should be seeing in reporting also. Okay. So adding filters to the report, how you wanted to have the data to be returned. So adding some kind of criteria here should be the same in reporting also. So if you're good with this, I think you can play around with reporting also. But anyways, we'll be doing a lot of examples with reporting. That is different actually. Found eligibility rule first to part. Okay. So I'm creating an eligibility rule that applies for organization actually. Okay. So supervisory so you can see supervisor organization compensations there. Okay, you can take that. What is that supervisor organization name that we have taken? Cloud Foundation Insights, right? Cloud Foundation. This was the organization name, right? That I have created. Cloud Foundation Insight.
I guess it's Workday Insight.
Workday Insights, not Cloud Foundation.
It's Workday Insight.
Okay. Okay. I don't remember the one that I've created. Anyone created any supervisor organization? You remember your top level supervisor organization name?
Adani I have created. Adani.
No? I can take anyone then.
Fine. You can take Adani Workday Insight.
From this, it is the third one. Workday Insight Systems and Operations.
This one. Jennifer Thomas, yeah. Supervisor organization. I've taken the one that I've created, okay, which applies wherever we add this eligibility rule. If I'm creating a compensation plan, if I'm creating any kind of package, if I add this eligibility rule, that component will be specific to the supervisor organization. Whoever part of the supervisor organization, that should be applicable for this one. Okay. So I'm creating an eligibility rule. Also create one more eligibility rule. Which managers and above. Management level is a kind of attribute that will be giving you the level of an employee. Okay. Management level compensation frequently used in the selection list means anyone that applies in the selection list. If you are selecting not in the selection list, other than what we select, it will look for other values. Okay. So these are the filter values that you need to be familiar. Actually, in reporting, it will be a lot of helpful for you. Okay. Any in the selection list means whatever we select, that will be picked up actually. Okay. So if you go and add to the condition, whatever we have selected in the filter criteria, your condition will be restricted to that one. Not in the selection list. None in the selection list. If you select, other than what you have selected, it will point to that actually. Okay. Let's say now any in the selection list, I'm actually giving managers and above. Okay. So I'll select all the managers. So you'll not see multiple managers in real tenant. Okay. You'll not see with the same name, you'll not see multiple management levels. That is not possible. But since this is a training tenant, people have created with the same name. So don't consider that. In real tenant, you'll have everything as of one only. Okay. So now I wanted to select manager and above. So managers, directors, board of directors, vice president, and then chief executive officer. Yeah. So I've selected manager and above management levels. Okay. So now when I go and add this to any of the plan, all these employees who are part of this management level will get that particular compensation component actually. Since here any in the selection list that what we have selected will actually look anyone in the selection list. Any in this list that will be filtered. If you have taken not in the selection list, if you have taken none in the selection list, and if you have taken manager here, what system will understand is management level not in the selection list means anything that you have specified here. Other than this one, it will look for all those values. Other than manager, whatever that is there in the list, to whatever list that is there, right? Your management level will be considered for all those levels, other than this one, what you've specified. That is because you have selected none in the selection list. Okay. None in the selection list means other than what you have selected, it will look for all the values. If you select in the selection list means what you have specified the values that will look for those values only. Okay. So you need to be more understanding on this because in our reporting, you should be playing a lot of filters like this actually. Okay. So none in the selection list will look at other values than you have specified here. In the selection list, we'll look for the value that you have specified here. That is the only thing that you need to understand. Okay. Any confusion anyone have? Anything unclear?
What's the first column and or?
What is that?
First column and / or.
That's an operator. We're going to that now. Okay. So now, what this condition specifies is when we are going to add this eligibility rule to any of the component, those people will be eligible. All the employees of these groups will become eligible actually. Now, what this says is management level. All managers, directors, CEO of the company, vice president, and executive vice president will be eligible for this stock component, for any component that you attach. Now, I wanted to change the meaning of this condition. Okay, so what I'll do is edit. I'll add R. So now what I'm taking is, I'm taking location, sorry, country. Okay. Now, what this condition means is anyone from this management level or all the employees of United States will become eligible for this one. Okay. So two criteria here. Anyone from this management level or anyone from country of US should become eligible. If I change this from or to and, then the meaning will change. Okay. Anyone from this management level from US will become eligible, because and means it will take as a kind of single condition. Okay. And means both are under one condition. If we change this to or, this will become two actually. Anyone from this management level or anyone from US should become eligible. If you take this to and, that will treat as single condition. Anyone from this management level and who are from US should become eligible. So that is what and or operator means actually. Okay, and this will change meaning of the condition. Okay, in your reporting, it will change your result actually. So you must be more cautious or more understanding on the requirement, what you get when you're filtering the data. Okay, so that anyways, we'll learn in our reporting concept, but take it from here that and will actually treat as single condition or will actually treat as multiple conditions. Okay. Clear? Any questions?
How are you defining or versus and? It seems like you're coming to the same result.
No,
Either
we're not.
with-
No, this is not the same result. Okay. So when I'm going for and or, what it is doing, if I'm keeping to and, what it is doing, it is looking for all the employees of this management level from US. Okay. That is one result. Okay.
Okay.
If I'm changing to or, now this will change actually. So I'm looking for all the employees from this management level, or I'm looking for all the employees of US country. So two groups I'm looking. I'm
Okay.
looking employees of this management level from all the countries. Manager can be from India, manager can be from Canada, manager can be from Australia, US, from any country. Or employees of US country I'm looking.
Okay. Thank
But if
you.
I'm changing this to under, now manager from US, director from US, CEO from US, vice president from US, system will look actually. Make sense?
Yes, thank you.
Any other questions anyone have? Good. Okay. Now, we'll keep this as one single condition. Compensability rule. Okay. So once we have the eligibility rule, we can start with comp grades actually. Okay. Create comp grade. Create compensation grade. Okay. So when you are creating a compensation grade, you also have an option to enable if you want to go with compensation grade profiles. Okay. When you're creating a compensation grade, you must have an understanding that whether you're going for specific country or multiple countries, right? So you can actually, if your compensation is effective from, you can give the effective and the segments. Okay. I told you, right? Compensation grade or grade profile is nothing but which define the range of the compensation, right? So the segments define how many ranges that you wanted to have. Okay. Let's say 10 lakhs to 30 lakhs is a range, I said, right? So is a range of the compensation. Between 10 to 30 lakhs, how many ranges that you wanted to have? Okay. So 10 lakhs would be the low minimum component. Okay. 15 lakhs would be one of the component. Okay. And 20 lakhs, 25 lakhs, 28 lakhs, and 30 lakhs. So these are all the segments. Okay. So when you have those segments, the recruiter can actually go with any of the segments during the negotiations of compensation to the employee. Okay. So how many ranges that you wanted to have for the for that particular segment? Sorry, how many segments that you wanted to have for that particular range of the compensation? You can define when you're actually going to create a compensation grade or grade profile. Okay. So I'll keep this as 4 and I'll enable job profiles because we wanted to know both the cases. Okay. Click on OK. If you're not checking this one, grade profiles will not get created. Okay. There will be additional tab under which you can actually add grade profile. If you click this, that tab will be created. If not, you'll be just be creating compensation grade actually. Click on OK. You can see here, this is because we have selected the checkbox. We are seeing this compensation grade profile. If you have not selected the checkbox, you might have not seen this tab at least. Okay. Now grade name and giving it as a Workday lead architect. Okay.
Amit, quick question.
Sorry?
Quick question. So that's segments,
Yeah.
what you mentioned. So you selected 4, right? So I was trying to understand, what exactly is segment? So if you select 2
You
versus
can see
4,
here. you will be seeing two segments. If you select two there, you will be selecting two segments. Since there were four segments, you can see segment 1, segment 2, segment 3, segment 4. Okay, so your compensation, whatever compensation that you will be defining, that will be divided into this many segments. And now recruiter can actually go with segment 1 or segment 2 or midpoint or maximum point. Anything, recruiter can take that compensation to the candidate actually.
So, for example, for this architect, what you're creating, segment 1 could be 10,000.
Your voice is too low. I'm not able to understand.
So, for the profile, what you're creating, so the recruiter can go in and just say, let's say the range is from $10,000 to $40,000.
Yeah,
So segment 1 could be 10, 20, 30, and 40.
Yeah. How many
Is that
segments
what
that you
it
have
is?
defined? Yeah. How many segments
Okay.
that you have defined while you are creating a compensation grade? That many segments will be distributed here.
Okay, perfect. And if it was two segments and the range was from 10 to 40, so recruiter can
System will
go in
auto
and
calculate that one. System will, you don't need to do manually calculate. System will auto calculate. We'll come to this part. Okay.
okay.
So once you define all these things, we'll come to this part.
Got it. Thank you.
Okay. So anytime that if you're creating compensation grade, the base pay will be standard base pay. Okay. Base pay element would be standard base pay. Because this is your actual compensation, right? It will be on the base pay component only. Okay. And we're not going to add any eligibility rows here. And can be USD for compensation grade and semi-monthly for US. And now let's say if I give 10,000, okay, and 80,000 if I click on calculate segment, system will automatically calculate this actually. You should be getting between 10 to 80. What is a segment 1, segment 2, segment 3, and segment 4, and this would be the midpoint. Okay. Now recruiter can actually take any of these segments and close the compensation and inform the team that I've closed the compensation at segment 2, or I've closed the compensation at segment 4, or close the compensation at midpoint. And then the system will auto calculate, and based on this would be the minimum and this would be the maximum. Okay. And this is the range of the compensation. Okay. Clear? And if you have any additional countries that you wanted to go with, including the compensation grade, you can also add multiple countries here. Okay. Grade profile name. Okay. I'll give grade profile for India. Okay. Let's pay. And since this is just for India, we have condition rule for India. Okay. So this will be already defined actually. So there will be country India. If this is not defined, we can actually create this condition, which actually specifies that this grade profile is specific to India. INR frequency monthly. If you're defining this for India, 5 lakhs to 25 lakhs. So your system will auto calculate the range between the minimum and maximum. Okay. So in that way, you can add compensation grade. If you wanted to add another country also, you can actually go to the top. Click on this row. If there is any kind of another country requirement that you have for this, you can just click on that row and place pay. Eligibility rule. Into Philippines. Okay, so this will actually look for only Philippines country. History. Monthly. Total base pay. In this way, you can actually create comp grade and grade profile that should be applicable for the condition that you wanted to have. Okay. Now we have created grade and grade profile. So this would be the grade name actually. So what is the next thing? Create a compensation plan, which is one of the important activity. Create comp plan. Okay, so we don't have tasks based on the unique task. Actually, you need to, I told you, right, the plan names actually. Okay, the plan names I told. Where did the compensation plan go? Okay, here. Okay. So I mentioned, right, what are the plans that we have? We have a task for each of this plan. Okay, create salary plan, create hourly plan, create bonus plan, create allowance plan, create stock plan, and create plan plan. So with each of the plan name, we have a task actually. Okay. Salary plan. Effective. So now understanding on this attributes is important. Okay. So you can see here, apply FTE percentage. Okay. So this actually specifies on the employee eligibility actually. So an employee employment eligibility. If you go to employee, let's say Jack, this guy's Logan's profile. Job. You can see FTE percentage. Okay. So for all full-time employees, FTE percentage will be 100%. Okay. For all fixed term employees, okay, part-time employees, okay, FTE percentage will be based on their duration, actually, number of hours that they work. Let's say if 50% is a FTE, they'll be working 20 hours in a week. If a full-time employee works 40 hours in a week, the fixed term employee, the FTE percentage is 50%, that person will be working 20 hours in a week. Okay. So in that way, when you know this FTE percentage, when you're creating a compensation plan, okay, got refreshed, I believe. When you're creating a salary plan, that salary plan will be applied based on the FTE percentage. Okay. Okay, based on the FTE percentage. Okay. So if employee compensation is for the particular wherever you're assigning this company salary is 10 lakhs or 20 lakhs, okay, that you have defined as a compensation for that position. And when you're creating a salary plan, if that plan amount should be applicable based on the FTE percentage means, so if you select this one, applies FTE percentage. If employee FTE is 100%, when you assign this salary plan to employee, that employee will be getting 100% actually. Okay, because if employee FTE percent is 100%, whatever the compensation that employee is getting paid will be 100%. But if employee compensation is if employee FTE percentage is 30%, okay. If employee the FTE percent is 30%, and if you are assigning by selecting this option, apply FTE percentage by selecting this option, and if you have created a salary plan assigning to that employee whose FTE percentage is 30%, in that salary 30% will be paid for that employee because it applies FTE percentage actually. Okay, it prorates that one. If you wanted to go 100%, so you can actually give assigned value in the 100%. Okay, so 100% value will be granted, or proration will be granted based on the FTE percentage. Okay, so that depends upon the compensation policy that you have, or compensation if you are hiring any contractors, if you are hiring any kind of fixed term employees. Okay, if you're hiring any kind of short term employees, so you can actually go with apply FTE percentage, which will be prorating your compensation based on the number of hours that you work actually. Okay. And the other option that you need to know is exclude from the merit. Okay. So by default, this will be unchecked actually. Okay. By default, this will be unchecked. When you check this checkbox, this salary plan will not be included in the merit process actually. Okay. If this salary plan is assigned to me, okay. So if this is assigned to me, and if this option is checked as part of the merit process, I'll be not part of the merit actually, because the salary plan that is assigned to me got checked with exclude from the merit process. So when merit process is running, when the compensation team is running the merit process, I'll be not part of the merit process because the salary plan that is assigned to me will not be included, because exclude from the merit option is checked actually. Merit annual, you'll be getting merit, right? So as part of merit process, your compensation will be revised. Annual reviews, compensation review process.
Okay.
There's nothing but a merit actually. Okay. So as part of that merit process, your compensation will be revised if there is a specific percentage, whatever organization decides. If you want that plan to be included, by default, it will be unchecked, so that when merit process is running, that will actually identify the salary plan and make your salary revised according to your performance rating, or any other rating that your organization will be considering. Okay. So if you want it to be excluded, you'll be. So generally, in what cases it will be excluded is based on the hire date eligibility. Employee hired during this date will not be applicable for merit process. If there are any such criteria, those should be considered in that. Okay. Coming to the plan name. Okay, so I'm checking this one. So I'll be giving the salary. Salary plan. and apply FT percentage compensation element is salary. Standard. Okay. So generally salary will be as part of base pay, right? So it will be base pay. And eligibility rule, we are going to add this eligibility rule here. Just for your understanding, eligibility rules can be added here so that employees who are part of this eligibility rule will be getting this. Okay. Click on OK. Now we've created a salary plan. Okay. Similarly, you can create other plans also with the name that you can actually look for. Okay. Then what is the next thing? Package. Okay. So we need to create a package that combines grade and plans together. Okay. Create compensation package. So we have option to add grades. If you have grades, if you have grade profiles, you can actually add. Compensation plan, you can add multiple plans. I've created only salary plan, but if you have any kind of other plans also, you can create multiple plans and add those plans to the package, which will be making a complete package structure for an employee in the salary. Okay, so this should be the one that we have created. Now we have compensation package that we've created. Okay, so Workday compensation package we've created. So generally, you'll have this many components whenever you're creating. Maybe I've created only salary plan, but there could be hourly plan. If hourly employees are there, if any bonus plan that you wanted to create, you can create a bonus plan and then assign those plans to the compensation package. And then as a kind of compensation change process, or when employee is getting hired into the organization, you can take this compensation package and add to the employee, okay, which we have already seen. But in general process, how we can actually make compensation changes for an employee is through request compensation change business process. Okay, there is a business process called request comp change. Okay, this is a business process which will be used to change the compensation of an employee, either through annual compensation review process or any kind of ad hoc compensation changes that you'll be making. Anything can be performed through this business process. Okay, even you can automate. Okay, if you wanted to change or if you wanted to add bonus for an employee for 100 employees, okay, so you need to perform that through this business process only. Okay, so this is the business process. I'm checking whether there are any invalid steps if I'm manually correcting any of the compensation for an employee. So we have only initiation step, so we should be good to update any employees. So Jennifer Thomas was the employee, right? So generally in this tenant, for any employee whom we have hired, they've restricted access to make any changes, but I'll try to make compensation change for Jennifer Thomas to see if we're able to make. Okay. So when we hired Jennifer Thomas, we did not add any compensation. Now, as part of this compensation topic, I'm going to make compensation change for this guy. Related actions, compensation, request compensation change. Click on this. This will trigger the business process actually. Okay, whatever we just saw, right? Business process, that will trigger that business process. Okay. I'm going to add compensation for Jennifer effective yesterday's. Click on OK. Okay. So we need to give the reason why we are making the compensation change, because it's a mandatory step. So when you're doing any kind of compensation changes, from when, let's say if you're incrementing salary for an employee and you don't want it to employee to see till certain date actually. If there is any kind of such kind of requirements, you have an option to employee visibility date. Okay. When employee can see the change that you're making, you can actually specify here. Okay. This will be mostly used during your compensation review process. Okay. During that time, when you make a compensation change, and if you don't want employee to see that, you can actually specify the date. Till that date, the employee will not be able to see that. Okay. Now, since we wanted to assign a compensation package to employee whom we have hired, I'm going with this package. Where is the package? Okay, I did not save it here. What is the name that we have created? Lead architect. So if there is any salary plan that you have added, you can actually give the salary plan. So whatever the range that we have given, and while creating a grade, the salary should be within this range actually. Okay, so we've added all the details. Submitting this. Generally, this is how you make any kind of ad hoc compensation change request that you get as part of support request through request compensation change business process. Okay. So when you are trying to automate this one for a bunch of employees or large group of employees, you'll be taking the same process, but through integration you'll be doing, which we'll be learning we'll be learning that in our integration concept. Okay. So changing compensation for a huge amount of employees, we should be able to do that through automation process with integrations. Okay. Now we've submitted the compensation. If you go to Jennifer's profile, you should be seeing whatever we've added actually. Okay. Whatever we've added, we're able to see that. Okay. Similarly, you can add multiple compensation plans. Okay. So when you're adding a compensation through business process, you can add multiple plans and those should be showing up here. And tomorrow, if someone comes, hey, can you add a alliance plan to this employee? So the same process, go to the request form change and go to the process, add the alliance plan and submit that. If there is any kind of approval process, it will go to approval process and then finally you should be able to see the compensation process like this. Okay. So this kind of hands-on and understanding the definitions will definitely help you in actually understanding any kind of tickets that you get. Okay, as part of support requests, you get any tickets or making any kind of adjustments to the existing compensation components. Okay, so they should be helpful. At least navigations where you wanted to go and see an employee compensation grades, or where you wanted to navigate to update employee compensation through request com chain process. All those things you should be able to navigate and see clearly. Simple manual task actually creating grades, packages and all. So take time to actually get familiar with the configuration what we have done. And with this, I think we have covered all the functional areas. Okay. So tomorrow we will be getting into technical things from reporting actually. Okay. So we'll be starting from the very base. I don't know how many here got hands-on in reporting areas, but having a reporting background with any kind of RDBMS should be helpful. But even if you're not aware, we'll be covering from basics actually. So don't miss. And whatever you have learned till now, okay, even if you have not attended, the recording would have help actually. Okay, recordings would be helpful. But from tomorrow, so you need to know the foundation. Okay, so you need to have the basics, whatever we'll be covering in reporting. So that will help the other topics, like if you're well aware of reporting. Okay, so the next topic is calculations. Okay, so you should be able to understand the calculations. And then if you're the expert in reporting, you should be able to handle integrations to a certain extent. Basic level of integration you should be able to handle. Okay, report based integration you should be able to handle. So a lot of dependencies there, and these skills, whatever reporting, calculations and integrations, have a lot of demand in the market. Okay, combination of what you have learned now and with reporting and integrations will give you demand in the market. Okay, so mostly you'll not find whatever skills that you have gained so far with reporting and integration skills. Whether that person will be just specific to few functional topics, experience in functional areas, but not into technical. Okay, or specific to only reporting, but not familiar with the business process, securities, organization, staffing, all this kind of thing. That person will not be able to understand the functional areas. Or the person will be more technical, will just be aware of integrations and not aware of reporting, not aware of calculations, not aware of anything related to security, completely blank. So now you got a chance to actually get familiar with the functional things, whatever we have learned so far. And now from tomorrow, whatever we are going to learn with reporting. So this is a kind of unique things that you'll be finding in the market. Most of the job descriptions that you get will be with this combination actually. Okay. So try to see if you're not missing the sessions from tomorrow till integrations. Okay. Because there is a dependency of understanding basics from reporting will help in calculations, and that will help in integrations. Okay, so that's all I have for today, unless if you have any questions.
One quick question, Amit, if you have a minute.
Yeah.
So, but basically, when you created a salary plan, say you showed us the exclude merit thing, right? So
Yeah.
in that scenario, so if you check that exclude merit, right, then you created a compensation package, and let's assume that you added a merit package in it, right? So in
No.
that scenario, if there's an employee where you have a salary plan where you have excluded merit, and in compensation plan, you added the salary plan plus a merit plan, will Workday
No.
complain about
In
it or
salary
it will
plan,
ignore?
no. In salary plan, we cannot add merit plan. There is a separate task to create a merit plan actually. Okay. So merit plan, there
No,
is a
no, you
separate
add
task.
the merit plan in the compensation package.
That is not a plan. That is including the salary plan in merit process. Merit plan is different. Okay. Merit plan,
Okay.
create merit plan is different. Okay. So what
Okay.
I did, I've created a salary plan, and
Mhm.
there was a checkbox like exclude this salary plan from the merit process. Okay. So
Right.
merit process in the sense every year as part of the annual cycle, your organization will be, your compensation team will be reviewing the compensation process. During that merit process, who are all eligible for the compensation merit process, they'll be including all those employees into that merit process. Employees who are hired between this date to this date will not be eligible, but employees who are hired before that date will be eligible for this merit process. They'll define some kind of eligibilities. Based on that, if any employee who is hired between the date, if you wanted to have those employees to be categorized under one salary plan, the checkbox will be exclude merit checkbox will be checked. Okay. So that when merit process runs, that will not look at the salary plan because you have checked the checkbox to exclude from the merit process. Okay. If you have not checked, when merit process is running, all those employees also will be included in the merit process because you did not check that one, which will be automatically including in the merit process. And as part of the merit process, their salary also will get revised. Merit plan, there is a different task actually. Okay. That's how we create a salary plan. There's bonus plan, okay, so stock plan, allowance plan. Depends upon organization requirement, we'll be creating specific plans actually. Cool. That's all I have. We'll catch up tomorrow, guys. Bye.